Hey, I'm Layne. It's great to be back with you again on another episode of Why Real Estate. We're going to go a little bit more into some detail on what's happening in the market nationally with real estate. As you can see, I'm sporting a green t-shirt today. This is the 5th edition LT Follow the Flag t-shirt, the one we make every year where we pay for it from our business, and then 100% of the proceeds from the sale of these t-shirts go to the fantastic nonprofit that I've been able to be fortunate enough to be a part of for the last 8 years, Follow the Flag. Their mission is to honor, heal, and inspire, honor those that have served, help heal those that have been wounded, including family members who are Gold Star families who have lost loved ones to war, as well as honoring our first responders, and then inspiring the younger generation so that we have a more patriotic nation that values the ideals that our country represents. So I'm going to jump right into some important data and details. I'll be reading through some of it. I think it's important that you hear what's gone on recently. Just so you know, home sales actually backed down a little bit in March from the previous March, about 4.3%. And there was over 4.19 million sales, and sales fell 3.7% that month. The median existing home sales price rose 4.8%. So sure, we had less sales, but again, the value in owning real estate, increasing the value there, and went up almost 5% from the previous year. So nationally, it was at $393,500. Here in Utah, the median price was $554,000. Again, Utah has now become the third most unaffordable state in the country, behind California and Hawaii, when it comes to housing, which is just crazy. As far as the confidence index, Realtors Confidence Index, according to that index, properties typically remain on the market for about 33 to 38 days. Here in Utah, we were right at 34 days, so it falls right within that. First-time buyers were responsible for 32% of sales in March, which was up from 26% in February. NAR's profile for home buyers and sellers released on November 2023 found that the annual share of first-time buyers was 32%. All cash sales accounted for 28% of transactions, so those are those who are not affected by the mortgage interest rates. Purchased 15% of homes in March, down from 21% in February and 17% in March of 2023. Only distressed sales or foreclosure sales make up only 2% of all sales. That's been very steady, not increasing, which is interesting in these economic times that we're dealing with high inflation, to know that there's only that type of default rate. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate averaged about 6.88% as of April 11th, which is up from the previous week a year ago, and up from 1 year ago of the average rate of 6.27%. And as far as single-family and condo co-op sales, single-family home sales declined to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 3.8 million in March, down 4.3% from 3.97 million in February and 2.8% from the prior year. The median existing single-family home price was $397,200, which was up 4.7% from March of 2023. And there were 390,000 units as far as condominiums that were sold in March, which was a decrease of 4.9%, so nearly a 5% from the previous month, and 11.4% from a year ago, when there was 440,000 units sold. So it's interesting what's happening in the market, as we are seeing still, even with these high interest rates, the buyer demand is there, because that's what supports the increase in the value of real estate. It's a very unique time. A little bit about Utah County and Salt Lake County areas. Wow, for the second month in a row, sales increased by 9.5%. That's just amazing. The demand here, and there's various reasons for that in Utah for demand. It's the high birth rate. There's big families. Kids want to live by parents. The economy is just booming with the amount of available jobs along the Wasatch Front in particularly, where nearly 2.8 million people live, anywhere from Santaquin on the south to Brigham City in the north. And there's only so much land. When you look from between the Uinta Mountains, the Wasatch Front, and the mountains across the Salt Lake Valley and the Utah Valley, as well as the lakes, when you factor in Utah Lake and the Great Salt Lake, there's just only so much land to buy, so that increases the value of these properties as well. So overall, the housing market is very healthy, and again, never get too caught up on what the interest rates are, there really isn't a better time than now. Obviously, the first best time was 10 years ago or 5 years ago to buy a home. The next best time is now. Well, we can't go back in time. Real estate over time is a winning game. And if you have any questions, please reach out. But thanks for listening to another episode of Why Real Estate.